Hey, so today I'm going to do my top 3 game systems, so why not top 5? Because I just couldn't think of what 4 and 5 were. I knew perfectly what 1, 2, and 3 are, but 4 and 5, it's just really hard for me to decide, so I just decided to do a top 3. And just keep in mind, this is my opinion, so it's most likely going to be different than your opinion. But if it's the same, then that's cool. So, yeah, let's get started. So, the first one is actually... Number 3 is actually a handheld. I know that might be cheating, but it's my list, so be it. And that is the Nintendo DS. I know people are probably... This is probably my favorite Nintendo system. And, yeah, I know people are probably raging because it's not, you know, all the other Nintendo systems. But I think a lot of them, like the older ones, like N64, especially Super Nintendo... The hype of those comes solely from nostalgia and not from the fact that they're like really good systems. And they are great systems, but I think most of it, you know, this charm comes from the fact that people grew up on it, so they think it has a lot of charm. But the DS, really, in my opinion, it's console quality on a handheld. The games are fantastic. It has probably one of the best, if not the best library on a handheld. You know, DS Lite, especially, it's small, compact, fits in the pocket easily. Again, you know, the games on it are just, you know, for the longest time, you know, the games on, you know, the handhelds were always, like, dumbed down. You know, the games on the, you know, home consoles were, like, you know, 128-bit, and then the ones are, like, you know, they look like Super Nintendo, but DS, you know, you have console-quality games on the go, and PSP is the same, but I just think there's a couple more games on this that are just really set it apart. So, yeah, that's number 3. So number 2 is the Sega Dreamcast. I was actually shocked how much I liked the Sega Dreamcast. You know, I had a feeling it was going to be a good system, but I didn't have a feeling that it would end up being one of my favorite game systems. I absolutely love this thing. It really, okay, for one, it just looks really cool, okay? 2, it has a really awesome game library. It has, you know, lots of really wacky, weird games and peripherals, and I love stuff like that, and it's just, I don't know, it's such a fantastic system. Tons of awesome games. I hate when people say all the games on the Dreamcast, all the good games were ported over. That's not true at all. There's still tons and tons of games that are exclusive to the Dreamcast, and has a very, you know, really good portion of its library is very underrated. So, yeah, that's Dreamcast. Tons of awesome arcade ports as well. And number 1, you know, kind of makes sense because I haven't mentioned this, but in the list yet. But it is the Sony PlayStation 2. What is there to say about PS2 that hasn't been said? It has probably the best game library of any game system ever. It just has, I mean, literally, you could say there's too many good games. Like, you can have, you know, this massive, like, 1,000 game PS2 collection and still not have every good game on the PS2. It's almost insane. No, it's not almost, it is insane how many, the vast amount of games that there are on this system. I mean, you get a PS2 and, I mean, you're set for life. I mean, you could be playing games for years and years and still not play half of its library. It's why I like DS. It's like, DS is like this on a handheld, because it just has such a massive game library, and the build quality is questionable, but the giant, amazing game library just completely cancels it out. Yeah. That's my top 3. Really like all of these. Recommend you all check them out. So, yeah, thanks for watching.